This is the President McCormack Podcast with your host, Mark McCormack.
All right, today on the podcast, we have my brother, Brett McCormack. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So
you're like a real host.
Yeah, I'm a host now.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, I gotta direct this, make sure it sounds good, make sure the people love it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure on this side. Your side, you just gotta free flow it.
I guess so.
Yeah. So, cool thing about having Brett on here is Brett and I have been partners in multiple businesses, and we're currently partners in an investment fund called Saxton Group. And so, yeah, but I mean, it all started 18 months into my life, and I got my little brother.
People always ask, who's older?
I know.
Do you feel like you look older?
I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got the beard, you've got the hair. Or you've got the beard, I have that bald head. You've got the hair.
I wonder if you had a full head of hair, how close we would look in age. Because I bet you'd look really close.
Yeah. People wouldn't know.
We should get you a wig.
I was actually going to buy a Thor wig the other day. Because I love Thor
wig, like the long one, or
the big long one with the beard. Yeah.
Where did you see that at?
Amazon. $19.
Amazon? I thought you would have just saw that down in Vegas or something.
Oh no.
So 18 months into your life,
18 months
I was
of my
born.
Life. I gained my best friend Brett,
bringing me in. Mark brings me to tears quite a few times.
Yeah, my goal is to never cry on this podcast, and it's going to happen for sure.
Really? Why don't you want to cry?
It's ugly. I'm bald.
Why does that have anything to do with it?
I actually don't care. I could cry. You know.
Yeah. When Mark was on my podcast, I started bawling 3 seconds in. I was introducing you, and I started crying. I was like, "Oh well, shit, here we go."
I know. That's why I can't do a freaking.
Does he beep out swear words, or you don't?
No,
care if
we're
swear?
not beeping out swear words. So we're gonna let them always fly.
So this is gonna be
unless you get wild with them, then it's like,
yeah,
you know. Teenagers
just start beeping at some point.
Yeah.
Just start beeping it out.
I just always keep in mind that Uncle Brett and Daddy Mark might be having my kids listen to a podcast eventually.
That's a good point.
But you know what? You want to know the truth? We all know the truth. My little guys swear every now and again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's when I learned that they really do listen to everything you say.
Yeah. You got to just, and you know, I feel like I'm a guide with them. It's like, I'm going to teach you how to swear, child, so you don't sound like an idiot when you're a teenager, you know?
I was never taught how to swear. I don't feel like I swear correctly.
I swear correctly now. I get it right most of the time. I know the situations I'm in. So, well, great, man. So let's talk about the first business. What's the first business we did together technically? It's probably the hard money lending, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't count like us trying to make money when we were young.
Sell cookies and.
I mean, it's kind of weird because essentially we were in business together when we worked for Dad, because we worked together on every single thing that we did, which I never did with our younger brother. I was never paired up with him, but I was always paired up with you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Until you graduate from high school or whatever. So
at what age did you start working for Dad?
I don't know, because like I remember cleaning toilets.
Yeah.
You remember sorting bolts, right? That was the first thing you did.
Very first job.
See, I wasn't there on that.
I don't think you were.
I think you did that, and then somewhere later, I just remember cleaning the bathrooms.
Yeah, which were disgusting.
Yeah. See, I don't even remember that. I feel like because you were the older brother, they always gave you a harder thing to do.
Oh, really?
Like you were probably cleaning the toilets and I was cleaning the sinks or something like that. I mean, we were young. I mean,
yeah, I think the problem was too is Dad's place was so freaking dark and dingy, and there was welders in there, and you know, there's one thing going to like a Class A office and going to the bathroom. They're always beautiful and smell nice, right? I mean, we're in ones where it's like dudes are washing their hands for literally 2 minutes straight to get all the black off of them. You know?
And then they, eating so much Mexican food.
Yep.
those bathrooms they were well used.
They're delicious. It's delicious.
I don't know how we're going down the road of bathrooms.
Well, because, in the words of the immortal Drake, started from the bottom, now we're here.
But you, like, if you explain working for Dad, like it was, like how old were we then?
I was 8 when I started with the nuts and bolts. And I bet.
So then I must have been around 8.
8 or 9, probably 10 is when I was cleaning the bathrooms with you, most likely.
Yeah. So you got to do bolts and then clean the bath. Bolts is an easy job. I did that later on here and there.
Yeah,
but you were just counting them, right?
I was actually taking a bolt. I was throwing a washer on, then I was putting a nut on the top and then throwing it in a plastic bag.
How do you
$2 an hour?
How do you replicate that with your kids?
So I've made my kids come in and clean my office pretty frequently, and then I take them into the shop and I make them clean stuff in the shop. But my shop now is a lot cleaner. It's basically a wood shop because we don't do the welding. And
yeah, welding just creates a weird soot that's used everywhere.
Yeah. Which is the craziest thing about welders is you're so dirty. So you put plastic gloves on, then you put on welding gloves, and you have to have full leathers on your arms is what we called them back in the day.
Sparks.
Yeah, for sparks. If you don't, you freaking burn yourself to death. Then you're normally in an apron, and you have a helmet on, and you have like a bandana or like some sort of a little hat on underneath that, and you just sweat your brains out the whole freaking time.
Did you weld for a long time?
I welded for, I probably welded for 2 years, if I remember right.
But was that a consistent thing, or were they moving you?
No, once you're kind of a welder, you're kind of a welder.
Yeah. So. See, I was like learning and then getting pulled back.
Yeah.
So I was either loading docks or trimming marker boards or welding, but welding was probably 10% of that. Oh. So I never got good at welding or anything. Like right now I could weld something, I could turn it all on and weld something, but I wouldn't trust those at all.
Yeah, I could weld for sure right now, but it has to be a certain thickness. Because there's aluminum welding, right? Like
I cannot aluminum weld.
Yeah, that's a freaking art.
I'll melt right through that.
Still? Yeah. I mean, kind of hard to screw it up. But no, so the funniest thing was, so in my late 20s, right, when we were doing the hard money lending, if you remember, I went to up to our Salt Lake office during the day till 3. Then I would come down, coordinate with everybody. I was the president of the company still. And then I ran a night crew from like 5 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And I welded a ton with them because I was the shop manager at that time, and that was a ton of welding.
Yeah.
So I mostly did the round welding. So when you put it on a rotator and you got to go back and forth on the big 6.5-inch mass. So then those guys just did little tiny welds on all the beam hangers and stuff.
How much did you love doing that? Like when we were working, it seemed like I got one summer off. I had ankle surgery. Mm-hmm. So I got a summer off. I was like I was like doing yard work.
Right.
That was the first time I learned that I could manipulate something.
You mean a person?
Like our parents in that way.
Yeah.
I feel like I was behind the game with that, but, and then, okay. So I always look at like work ethic and just to get this out there, like Mark's a mentor to me. Like I follow Mark's footsteps the best that I can. And it's always led me down a good road,
I appreciate that.
So that's like a tested mentor with actual items. Like I know some people are like, oh, he's my mentor, where he's like, you need to work harder or whatever stupid, like some saying, but you were like these stocks, take this action, do this thing. And then I was following down, going through that. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of how we got, so I started a marketing company over 14 years ago. Oh. And I moved into an office that had 2 essential people that led to us doing that business. Mm-hmm. And the only reason why I'm talking about this is because if you really want to network, it's not through social media.
Right.
Like in my opinion, like you can meet people, but until you take the action of face to face, it's worthless knowing them on social media.
Yeah. Social media 100% gives a false sense of networking.
Yeah.
Because networking, you have to have an activity tied to it. It's almost like, hey, I met this guy at dinner, then we did something after that. Like the meeting somebody is not networking. Yeah. Doing something together is actually networking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. The golf, the dinner, the talking, the podcast, the whatever. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm in this office. I meet Doug Shumway at Shumway Van, he had just started that law firm. I think he started 15 years ago. Whatever it was, he had started right before. Me and my old business partner, we got into the office, met Doug, and then we met PCG. Yeah. Are we allowed to say names?
Yeah, oh yeah. So
yeah, it's not like, yeah. Anyway, so PCG, and PCG was doing hard money lending.
Yeah.
And we went from going, hey, I know how to do marketing. Let's start generating leads for these guys. That's how we got into it.
Yep.
Who knows how that conversation went? We got Doug from the law firm, and that law firm was representing PCG, and he was a partner at that time, I think.
He was, yeah.
And then, we started and that was funny because we generated a lot of deals.
Yeah, hundreds of millions of dollars of deals.
And some of them were super fun. Like some of the conversations I was having. So see that if I could go back to regrets on that, it's back then, I wish I would have learned how to get a deal. Like, I wish I would have learned how to structure a deal instead of focus on marketing.
Yeah.
Like, I would have taken that reign from Jared or you and tried to do more of that.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, literally during our hard money lending. So what we, for the listeners, we were brokering deals technically.
Yeah.
Don't tell the SEC. Ignorance.
And there goes Saxon fun.
We know how to do it legally now, but yeah, back then, I mean, and it wasn't illegal per se, it was just gray area. But I mean, I learned how to value businesses, man. I look at that as my MBA. We really dove into what makes a good deal, what doesn't make a good deal, and hard money lending is interesting because they're either going to lend you the money because they think that you can get. You can execute, or they know for a fact you can't, and they want to take your assets.
Yeah.
So it's funny when you meet people who have taken a hard money loan. They're like, "Yeah, it's the greatest thing ever. We did this great deal. Everyone made money." Or the other guy's like, "Yeah, this son of a bitch took everything I owned." And it's like, you brought them a deal where they liked your assets more than your deal, and so
which was interesting. So we started working with more lenders that were outside of PCG, but there was other lenders, and man, when you started looking at that, they were just like, we're getting a 75% discount or 25% discount on an asset.
Yeah.
That's how they were looking at it. They were like that. Yeah, that deal's not going to work, but we want that property that they're going to put up as collateral.
Yeah.
That's why people hate hard money lending.
Yeah. 'Cause it's brutal. It's, you default, it's done.
Yeah, they don't mess around. You get a couple fees, and then you're under contract, and then it just goes from there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, yeah, but the good thing about that I understood more now is just how to evaluate a real deal. Mm-hmm. So I only understand that a little bit compared to like what you understand that.
Yeah.
So That was the good thing. That was our first, but we didn't do that for very long. It didn't seem like.
No,
like 6 months?
For
a year?
No, probably for a year, a little longer than a year.
Really?
So, yeah.
It went by quick. That was like right when I had gotten married.
Yeah, you got married. I had little kids. I was barely home. Yeah, that was a weird time because I still had to, run my business, and so, doing all that stuff on the side. Or actually, it was a mine then. I was still running the family business. Yeah. Back then. So.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting to think about.
Yeah.
So at that time, you were president. Mm-hmm. When did you become president of ADP?
When I was 27. So right when I graduated college, Dad and me had a conversation about me not going to law school and running the family business. Yeah. And then basically one of the stipulations is I could do entrepreneurial stuff on the side. And so, that was one of the first things. I mean, we got, I did the payday loan thing at the start, which was interesting.
See, so that's some of the things that I would that worry me now for the future of kids is you have social media that takes you away from being able to have a conversation in person. Yeah. Which, like, I don't know how many high school kids you've talked to, but because of my in-laws and stuff like that, and their friends and people that I see, it's like high school kids struggle to have conversations with adults. Yeah, which is crazy. So the good thing about Mark being the uncle of my children is that he has more conversation with the kids than he does with the adults, which is very valuable. Yeah. I'm trying to be more like that. But, so if you aren't able to have a conversation, you're never going to be able to show your worth. It doesn't matter how smart you are. I mean, we have a buddy who his dad's one of the smartest intellectual people I've ever met in my life. And that's a huge struggle for him.
Yeah.
And it's hard to show your value if you can't have a conversation.
No, absolutely. No, it's one thing I've noticed is like one thing that drives me crazy is when I say, hey, did you call this person? They go, yeah, I got a hold of them. And I'm like, got a hold of them or called them?
Yeah.
Well, I sent them an email. That's not what I asked you to do.
Yeah.
Call them on the phone and actually have your words here, hit them in the ear.
Yeah.
Because you have to talk to people to work with people, Now, what I just said, is that 100% true? No. You can send them an email and do business with people and never actually interact, but you don't build a relationship and you don't build your sales structure down the road,
Yeah, that will go away.
Yeah.
Every one of those will go away.
Yeah, because it's just an email. It's really easy to say to an email, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
It's like when people try and raise money from me or they try and get me to donate to charity and send me an email.
Yeah.
Honestly, here's a little truth nugget. That thing's getting deleted.
Yeah. Yeah, because who cares?
You know what I mean? I got so much stuff to do, so many people to talk to, so many things I donate to or invest in that I'm not taking on new clients, I guess.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care enough about you to call.
Yeah.
Because if they called you, like if UVU called you and asked you to do something, you'd probably do it. If they email you, it's probably not going to happen. I guess it depends on who emailed you if you already had a relationship with them. But if it's a new relationship,
yeah,
where it's somebody from UVU trying to use that trust,
yeah,
that's not going to happen.
One of my favorite things is, I jump on LinkedIn and I find some value in LinkedIn, and then I find a lot of wasted time on LinkedIn. And I'm telling you, every time people want to talk to me or, connect with me, I'll hit, sure, well, talk to this person. And it's just like, it just cracks me up because I was like, hey, came across your business. You're amazing. And all these stuff you do is amazing. Can I schedule a 10-minute call with you? And it's like, hell no. Because 10 minutes means an hour.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm talkative.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't know a damn thing.
Yeah.
So I normally reply to those. No, I'm not. You can't get a hold of me, and I know more than you do. I've Ron Swanson them.
Yeah.
And it's almost a test. It's like, let's see if you can come back to me and be like, no, I know more than you. So I'm going to come teach you and you're going to pay me. Like no one's had the balls to say that to me yet. So.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? So I have a client that's coming out with software where you literally can do that. Where you go, I'll pay you $50 if you give me 30 minutes of your time. And when you accept, it goes into an escrow. And after the meeting's cleared, then you get paid that money.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, so like coaches will be able to use it, but he's purposely doing it because of that, because there's, especially after this COVID where everybody was home, think of all the extra meetings you've had because people don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Like that, me, I hate that. I hate extra meetings. Like that's one thing that's interesting is outside of being able to communicate, like I feel like I can talk to anybody. Sometimes I'm shy and I get nervous, with that stuff. But the other thing, like being able to talk to somebody and being able to show them your value, but not expect anything from it.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's just it's going away.
Yeah.
Like it's very rare you see that in youth. I don't know. Anyway.
I'm weird. I feel like we feel like the old fogies, right? When we were kids, it's like, the youth gone wild. And it's like, number one, when I was a youth, they were talking crazy. And now that I'm an older guy, I'm dead on. And I hope the older people laugh at that. But like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, I've been trying to hire 20-year-olds to be installers for me, in one of my businesses. And oh my gosh, I have empathy for them, but dude, the anxiety and the depression and I feel sad and I don't know, I just never existed in my world. And I'm not saying they don't, and I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I do with it is I just go, okay, if you're sad, and take the time off.
What do you do when you're sad?
I go to work.
Yeah.
I can't be sad. I'm actually never sad. No, just kidding.
Yeah, but like when you're having a hard time, and to go back when someone wants to talk to me about marketing, and I know it's not going to be a good conversation.
Yeah.
It's either if they're in the state, I try to visit them and have that hard conversation in person.
Yeah.
But like, think if I was just like, oh, I can't do this, like I would be homeless.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm just going to keep pushing that off, keep pushing that off, keep pushing that off. Like that, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I spend a lot of time with some employees, a lot of times not that. I will take the time to sit down with employees and try and help them see that. And really, most of my guys now are, and, you know, the girls who work for me too. I say guys, genderless, but
people.
Yeah, people.
Humans.
The humans that work for me. Yeah. Hope I'm not offending anybody. Just gonna give a rip if I offend anybody.
Yeah. I don't.
But you know, like a lot of like being a boss and or even just the guy that is responsible for stuff. You know, you got to spend time with people and be like, hey man, let's do it this way. You know, have you thought about doing this? And we talk to people, and we got to, you know, let me show you why we talk to people. We get on the phone with them, and you know, the thing that kind of sucks about my position, a lot of stuff, is I'm the last guy. So when people are really lit up, you know, I'm the guy they're talking to. You know.
Yeah.
You know, even yesterday I had to have a semi-contentious conversation with, you know, a vendor of ours because I think they're overcharging us, and just is what it is. You know, we got on the phone. By the end of it, everything was fine. You know, it's kind of like a negotiation every single time I talk to people. You know, it's like, hey, what do you want? Well, this is what I need. You know, and it's just like, it's not hard to have those conversations. They're kind of annoying, but like, you know, there's a lot of people that will avoid that to death. I mean, I've had project managers that will just not call customers. And eventually it's just like, see ya, you know?
Yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah. You're not the one, dude.
Yeah.
So.
Well, did you ever take that role before you, were you ever a project manager before? So you did that for a while.
Yeah. So there's a couple ways to the top inside businesses, you know, sometimes it's through accounting, you know, because there's a level of trust there and you understand how the money flows in the business. In my world, I kind of did it through project management. So, but project management inside ADP Lemco, you end up touching everything. You know, you have to coordinate with accounting, you have to coordinate with purchasing, you have to coordinate with engineering, and then you have to, you know, get a hold of your installers, and you're really controlling a lot of the nucleus. It's not 100% like that now. Like when I did a lot more. I guess I was more involved in all the different aspects, and we have it a lot more streamlined now. I mean, we do 4 to 5 times as much business, you know, and I have basically 3 project managers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was a lot different when we were younger growing up in the business.
Yeah, we had like 30 office employees, and now I have 9 or 10.
So when I talk to people about you and I say that you bought the business, you know what their first question is every single time?
What?
Why didn't you buy the business?
Oh, yeah.
Why aren't you part of it? They ask me that every single time.
Do they really?
I've never once. I should start recording it because it'd be hilarious.
What do you say?
I just say I kind of saw the writing on the wall, and the other thing is I got put in an awesome situation to do something that I like to do.
Yeah.
Like it was a weird situation. I went and knocked doors, came back. I was doing phone sales. I knocked doors for Apex Vivint.
Yeah.
I sucked. Go and do sales on the phone, and the only way that I was getting sales on the phone is I would literally go into work 2 hours before it opened, and they would have calls that were coming in at that time, just like that only the best sales guys would get, and I would just get those. I would get a sell every single morning before anybody was there because I was the only person there to take the calls.
Oh,
I was like, I got to manipulate the system. And then Brent started showing up. I was like, you got to get out of here, dude. You're a better sales guy than I am, like way better.
Yeah.
And then back then when I was learning to sell, I was like going through somebody's process, which is horrible. Like I would never tell anybody to do that. So now I've essentially done all the sales in my business, which have been millions of dollars of sales. Yeah. And all I do is educate and show that I'm the authority. Yeah. I don't pitch them on anything. I don't do anything. I put them in a position to be like, how do we get started? How do I work with you? Yeah. And so that's what I always go back and tell people is like I found something I like to do, and I knew that business. And to be honest, I don't think it would have worked if like you were on that path to take over, and I really wasn't. Yeah. Like if you look at the positions that I took and what we were doing working for Dad, I'm thankful for all of them. Like even like the worst job I would say there, even out of cleaning toilets, was loading those shipping containers. Because you'd be there, like what time did we start in the morning? 6?
I think we were doing like the 3:12s and then the extra day. I can't remember the freaking shifts.
It was
we
crazy
left our
hours.
house at 5:15 in the morning as teenagers.
Yeah.
And we got home at like 7.
Yeah, at 6 or 7 because the trucks had to be loaded, so it depended.
Yeah.
We were never home at 5.
Never.
Ever. And we kind of learned that you'd hit traffic anyway.
Yeah. I've legitimately never worked a 9 to 5 in my entire life. Like people say 9 to 5. I think it's because of Dolly's song. But like, honestly, dude, it's like, what the heck is a 9 to 5?
And no bosses really care about that are good bosses.
Not anymore. I have no set hours.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you just get your stuff done.
Yeah. I also move my employees to 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And I have employees that do things on the Fridays, and I have installers out, and they kind of pick their own hours too. They just got to go get a job done, and then they come home. But no, I learned a long time ago. I just punching the clock thing is just not for. It's just it doesn't matter. You know, it's better to make people efficient and reward them with more days off.
Yeah.
So,
or reward them with more money because they're consistently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many hours would you say your employees work a day? Like if they work 10, if they are on the clock for 10 hours, like how efficient are they?
I would say most of my employees, I mean, if you were to compress it and like be like just real black and white, you're probably 7 to 8 hours a day. I'd imagine they're being productive and actually doing something, which is actually
that's crazy.
Really good. That's really, really good.
Yeah, because but your employees have been there for a long time too.
Yeah, and they're highly effective too. So when they're doing things, they don't waste a lot of time. Like it's pretty obvious at the office what's going down. You know, I mean, I never walk around like people really on Facebook. They're, you know, maybe a little bit. I mean, but I could not care less if they take a phone call, a personal phone call, or they, or what they're doing. You know,
if you did, you'd lose your mind.
You would lose your mind. You know, but I've read studies in the past, and who knows how good studies are. But I mean, if you're getting 50% productivity out of people, like that's decent. Some employees, you know, are like 25, 30%. Because the bigger your organization and the less responsibility you have, the more time you can just stretch items out for.
Yeah.
You know,
that makes sense. Yeah. Man, if there's anything, I'd like to get young kids. And I'd be, you know, who knows who will listen to this, but like young kids understanding, and we talked about this, is like success comes from doing things that are so damn uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like consistently doing things that are uncomfortable. Like I've like sacrificed my body to work, to make money, to provide for my family. Mm-hmm. Now I'm trying to mix it because I understand there's a balance.
Yeah. But
the balance to me is like eat food and grow and move, you know, make money, as much money as you can.
Yeah.
And that was, I had like a weird balance with that, and I'm trying to bring it around, but I don't know. There's something about, I don't know why I worry about that. Like, I'll tell you, we had these kids come to my house 2 days ago, and they're like, we're cleaning garbage cans. I will pay any amount of money to a kid that's working.
Exactly.
And I said, why? That was the first question. They're like, because we don't have anything to do. We want to make money.
Yeah.
I was like, they're like, clean them. They're like, well, here's our pricing. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to put in the effort to do that, you're going to go a long way.
Yeah. I kind of do the same thing in my neighborhood. Any neighborhood kid that comes up with something, or they want me to donate to their football team or their baseball team or their, like one of my neighbors, I haven't done it in a while, but you know, they, maybe it's because of COVID or whatnot, but you know, it's like I give them, I can't remember, $50 or whatever, and then I get a whole bunch of cookies, you know what I mean? Or like one of my neighbors was selling soup. Like I never ate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not supposed to eat the cookies. I ate a few, but like really, you know, it's like, I'm not eating them all. But yeah, I mean, Little Caesars coupons or whatever they come to do. And yeah, I mean, I paid one of our friends, you would know him, but he came and, I paid him to put the little 4 numbers on my street.
Yeah.
Which it's like, I mean, it's funny because it's like, I'm smart enough to know it's like, I could buy that on Amazon for $5. You know,
yeah.
I paid him 40 or something, you know, and he sold me on how reflective they were and whatever. And it's just like, yeah,
He knocked on the door? How did he get a hold of you?
Yeah, he knocked on the door. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I just knocked on the door. My wife was like, what are you doing here? Oh, I put these numbers on streets, you know, and it's like, yeah, you do $40, you knock out, you know,
10 of them
30 houses, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he got like almost every one of my neighbors because they're just like, sure, you know, maybe it helps. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
maybe you went. So when you were like, how do you do a goal structure?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a good question. It's actually something I'm struggling with.
Well, I always wondered because like you take successful steps, like you have your whole life, you've taken successful steps, but do you ever back that with a goal?
Yeah. I mean, I've had financial goals in the past, like numbers, because numbers are really easy, right?
Yeah.
You know, in the guy group that I'm in, we are the they, which is actually, it's a
Promotion.
Yeah, promotion, baby. Everyone should join. Jimmy's the man. They're talking a lot about goal setting and like writing down like your ideal self. That's kind of what we're working on right now. And I have to fight the urge to think that this is all a bunch of crap and just get back to my day, right? But I really sit down, because we have a call once a week. I sit down and I'm like, okay, whatever they talk about today, I take notes on my phone and I just do whatever they ask because. And there's been a few things that have really struck with me. The first one is being positive all the time, because I'm actually a really positive person generally. But if you get me negative about you, I hate you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's bad for me. It's not bad for the other person. It's bad for me. So I've got to really fix that. But right now we're kind of writing down like our ideal self and our goals in the future. And I don't have one financial goal in there. I don't have one like build your business thing, nothing like that. Every single thing that I have a goal with is being is increasing every relationship that I have. And I'm not lacking in relationships. That's the thing that's funny. You know, like, you know, my birthday party I threw for my 40th, you know, I think I had almost 200 people roll through there, you know, and it was like, I felt a lot of love from people, and I hoped everyone had a great time. And, you know, I had people text me like it was awesome. And it was just fun. You know, I got to give everyone a hug and, you know, thank them for coming and, you know, saying hi to me on my 40th as I jump over the hill and start rolling down the backside of my life. But like, I really want to focus on just having really good relationships, you know, and honestly, one of the main ones is my nieces and nephews, you know, like these little crazy buggers who are most of them are all 10 and under. I got a few that are creeping into the teens, but like, you know, they're going to see Uncle Mark, and Uncle Mark's around. And, you know, I hope that I've lived a life and built I don't want to call it empire, or, you know, a
legacy.
Legacy is a much better word, that they can go, oh, I wonder why Uncle Mark did this. And I can go sit in his house and have an orange juice while, you know, he has a bourbon.
Yeah, yeah.
And I could just sit there and tell him like, yeah, man, what do you want to do in life? What do you know, like we have the assets, we have the resources. You know, if you work hard, let's go and do something. I hope all the girls do it. I hope all the guys do it, you know. Yeah. And, just, you know, and when you go, that's all you got is legacy. Yeah. You know. So I guess that's my goal. I'm really focusing on my legacy.
Why? So what made you do that? Like, is it your age? Was 40 hard?
40 was not as hard as 30. If you remember right, 30 smashed me in the face. I don't have no idea why. Spent my whole 30th birthday eating a pizza, playing video games in the basement. I just never pictured myself at 30. I kind of pictured myself at 40. You know, I have some kids and a beautiful wife, and be happy, and which I am. Yeah. Every one of those things. 40 hit me a couple of days later because I was like, I'm 6'7". At the time, I was 335 pounds, down to 322.
Nice.
On my way down, and I thought, holy crap, I really could be halfway through. Yeah. You know, I mean, 80, I'll probably live deep into my 80s, I guess. But like, even though our grandparents lived into their 90s, you know, you just don't see 6'7" dudes. Even if I got, you know, real skinny and stuff, like there's not that many dudes in their 90s that are 6'7". It's a lot of heart to pump and a lot of, you know. Yeah. So I guess, you know, to kind of wrap that up. Yeah, it was a lot more reflective. Yeah. Like, you know, I got to live each day. I got to YOLO a little bit. That's kind of my whole thing. And I don't say no to any vacations that people want to go on, any trips. You know, I'm just like, yeah, let's make it work. Whatever we can do, let's go. Let's go have experiences, and let's go have some fun. And yeah, I also think I earned it. You know, I really buckled down in my 20s, and me and Dave Ramsey were homeboys. I basically lived his plan. He kind of resonated with me. And then once I hit my 30s, I was like, yeah, it's time to spend a little money and have some fun. Yeah. You know, I got to have some experiences with my wife and kids. So. But
you still never went crazy.
I've never gone crazy. I haven't bought a Porsche. I don't fit in them. I haven't bought a Lambo. I don't fit in those.
You fit in a Porsche? Have you been in a Porsche?
Not comfortably. I fit in my big black truck. Really comfortable. And it's nice.
But you do fit in a Porsche.
Maybe.
But I can't see you spending, like, you're not a car guy at all. Mm-mm. Which is way different than me and our little brother Kevin. Like, we're way into vehicles.
Yeah. And I love watching you guys buy vehicles.
But I'm not into I don't know. Like, what are you into? You're into watches? You used to be. Yeah, you're not wearing any. But
I mean, kind of. The problem with me is I've been investing for so long. It's just such a burden to like grab $100,000 and go buy a freaking really nice watch. Cause then I just look at that watch and go, oh yeah, I just lost out on the 12% I made. I just lost $12,000 just having this.
Yeah. And
they're kind of flashy. And then I get a little annoyed.
You're not flashy.
I'm not flashy.
You're not trying to be. Do you ever even want to be flashy?
If I'm going to flex, it's going to be a private jet.
Yeah.
So not quite at that level.
Yeah, but you're not even you would never share that with people.
No. The way I would share it is I would invite you to come on it and we would go somewhere.
Yeah.
That's the way
you'd want them to experience something with you because you'd want to see them happy with you.
And there is it would feel good to be like, hey, let's go jump on my jet. Let's go to Vegas tonight, or let's jump on my jet and go to Cabo. Like that is a flex or whatever you want to call it. But no, I mean, funny enough, I've been looking at Rolexes recently.
What are the prices? I don't even know.
Oh, they're all over the place. You know,
really?
You get the diamonds and stuff. But am I a diamond guy?
No.
I'm not a.
You're a t-shirt and sweatpants guy.
I am. Yeah.
I always tell people you're the most unassuming millionaire I've ever met in my life. Even so, we went and met with a company, and our friend is the one who introduced us to it.
Yeah,
Brent.
Yeah,
and he told him, he's like, "Hey, this group's showing up in sweatpants. Like, this is not. I know you guys are. I know we're asking for $25 million, but they're showing up in sweat. They don't give a shit what you guys think." And we showed our t-shirts and jeans. Jake's got like a cowboy outfit on.
Yeah. I do like sneakers now. Sneakers are probably something I'm kind of getting into.
Yeah.
But nothing, I mean, I think the most expensive pair I own might be $1,000. But like.
But would you ever buy like a Phantom? Like how much money would you have to? Yeah. How much money would you have to because those are like $550,000.
I do like those. I'd probably have to cross the $500 million mark
to spend $500,000.
Yeah. One thing that's kind of tempting to me right now. So I've got a good friend. I'll throw him on here because he'll love it. Derek Woodward. Yeah. And he bought a gorgeous boat. You know, I've been on it with him and his wife and his kids, and it was freaking awesome. He bought the. It's a
Aeronautique
Paragon 25 or something like that.
It's a G25 Paragon.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
They have like their normal G25s, which are like $250, and then those are like $350 plus.
Yeah, and he just sold it.
Why?
Because someone paid him more than he freaking paid for it. And then he's on order for the new one. And I mean, I'll be honest, I can't, hopefully he's not embarrassed by me saying this, but I think he's close to $400K for a boat. Like I bought a boat.
They make good money. Like it's not like they're going into debt.
They're not flipping with their money. Oh, absolutely. No, they've earned that boat. Absolutely.
Yeah, they've earned it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like they've earned it to have those experiences with their family.
And I'm on that boat and I'm like, this is dope. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's a gorgeous boat. I mean, everything about it's dope. But me personally, I look at that thing and I literally look at whatever I could buy with that. Yeah. I mean, you could buy a small business with that. Yeah. But I don't know, but I look at that too and I'm like, maybe I could go buy that, then I'm like, I could finance it, I mean, I get the game and the financing side of it, you pay a couple $1,000 a month and then you end up selling the thing later, it's not like it's going to lose value the second you buy it,
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to lose all of its value the second you buy it. But I mean, that's probably something I might end up doing is getting a little bit nicer boat one day. I mean, my boat's fine, but
But you just want, like, you're just looking for experiences, right?
Yeah, I got it for Lake Powell. We bought the houseboat, and then, just letting my kids, just destroy that boat would be just fine with me for right now,
Yeah.
And so, but I'm not that bling. I do love watches. I've always liked watches. You're 100% right with that. So I'll probably end up buying a $50,000 watch in the next $35,000 to $50,000 in the next year, probably.
And why? Because is there an investment side to that?
A little bit. If you buy the right watch, it'll actually appreciate a little bit. I don't really know how much. I mean, people kind of treat them like gold bars. They act like this is an investment, but to me, it's like, no, it's going to be a piece of jewelry I buy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's funny. Even my wife, I bought her a Louis Vuitton bag. And in fact, this is a perfect example of how I think. I bought it for her because she's a stay-at-home mom. She is doing homeschool, and I just wanted to buy her something really cool and just say like, "Hey, babe, thanks for all you do.
Thanks for working your butt off, keeping the house clean, raising kids,
supporting
like awesome
me.
mom.
Yeah.
Support. Yes, that's a huge thing.
Yeah, and so I took her to Louis Vuitton, and we just went in there. I was like, pick one. You know, unless you buy some alligator's $50,000 stupid one, like I'm going to say no, but like pick one. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, she picks one, and it was expensive. You know.
How did you feel? Were you looking at it as like this could have been an investment, or were you like, were you really like, what did it make you feel?
No, I mean a little bit, but I was also like, no, this is for her. I want to give her a good gift. I like giving her nice gifts, you know.
Yeah.
And but dude, then I started noticing how many people have Louis Vuitton purses, and I'm like, there is nothing special about Louis Vuitton, like literally nothing. Oh, dude, fly to Vegas. The other thing too is you have knockoff Louis Vuittons, right?
Yeah.
And so they're hard to tell the difference between, you know, unless you want to be pompous and grab someone's purse and like dive into it and, you know, fill the, you know, the inside stuff. Because they're very well made. They're a nice piece. But they're freaking super common. All that crap is common. You know, I think the only one that's not common is a Birkin, which I'm actually I have my own personal shopper now at Hermes down in Las Vegas, because you have to buy X amount of dollars of their clothing before you're even allowed to buy a Birkin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Most Birkins that people buy are on the secondary market.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. That's because
But Michelle doesn't really, she doesn't really care about that.
She doesn't really care either. So that's the thing. We're kind of like, I mean, half the time she's like, oh, I can't take that. I can't wear my Louis Vuitton today. Like, we've actually gone to dinner. I'm like, dude, bring your purse, man. Like, you know, I want you to kind of show it off a little bit. And she's like, oh, no, it's too showy. It's like, why did we buy this stupid thing? You know?
She didn't take it to Garth Brooks?
Oh, heck no. Dude, she'll take it out to dinner with me, you know, but like, I mean, she'll travel with it every now and again, but she doesn't like keep it in her car. She actually uses a stupid little, that's not stupid, it's cool, but it's
the Lululemon famine. I know, Kirsten got me one of those.
Oh, that's very
I look like an idiot. When you can't be overweight and try to be in style with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like maybe in 5 years you could do something like that.
Yeah.
I wore it one time. We were riding our bikes and I was like, I feel so stupid in this thing. And those
now,
things
when you
are
say riding your bike, you mean zipping around in your electric bicycle, right?
Yeah. It's so funny. People invite us to go on bike rides. And I'm like, we only got electric bikes. And my electric bike happens to go, I've taken it 74 miles an hour.
I was going to say, it's not your typical.
It's a little electric. It's like a Tesla motorcycle.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, I mean, I mean, luxury things. I mean, there are some, actually, honestly, the nicest thing I bought Michelle, luxury, is I bought her some Louis Vuitton sunglasses. And they only made, I think they made like 500 pairs of them. And I got like the 6th to the last one. I actually had to buy it in Atlanta.
Why?
And then they shipped it to the wrong
want it or something?
No. They're like that tiger eye all the way around, and then they have pink on the bottom of them. And they weren't crazy. They're like $700-800, something like that.
Did she know?
No, I surprised her. It was a Christmas gift.
Oh, cool.
So she looked at those and she loves them. She wears that all the time. You know, they're not banging flashy, which is good. You know, but like, you know, if you look at them, you're like, oh, those are Louis Vuitton. You know, because they have the little mark on the side. But yeah, the purse. I mean, dude, I'm almost every time I look at it, I'm going, the freaking thing is going on StockX tomorrow. You know. Recover 80% of what I paid for it.
Does because you do have a couple $100,000 worth of cars though. You got more if you count the business. If you count my business cars.
Yeah,
but
in fact, I just bought a car today.
You did?
Bought a truck today. Yeah.
Oh, did Sky's?
Yeah, Sky's truck came in.
I don't know why I just call him Sky. Does anyone call him Sky?
I call him Sky all the time.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'm gonna say Skylar. I'm not that close. It came in today.
Yeah, I think it actually. Yeah, it landed today. I ordered it.
He's buying it today.
Yeah. Well, me.
Yeah. The business is buying it today. The business is
buying it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm probably up to, I don't know, $600,000 in cars, but they're all, you know, they're all trucks and they're all nice trucks. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's to get around.
Yeah.
For work.
I do like cars. I will spend money on cars down the future. Right now, I want to buy a 1996 Bronco.
I know. Why are you so fixated on that? You know that's going to be a nightmare.
I have no idea. And it is going to be a nightmare.
The only time you should buy something like that is if you can work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't work on cars.
That's what I'm saying.
Do an oil change.
You know how much that thing's going to be in the shop?
No, I'm going to drop a new motor and tranny in it.
It doesn't matter.
You think?
That's going to cause more problems with everything else.
Well, that's a whole nother podcast.
It is a
My
whole
inability to work on cars.
No, I can't work on cars. I couldn't do that
Look at the
stuff.
size of these things.
I just used Vinny. Whenever I have something, I just take it to Vinny.
Yeah.
So another shout out. German auto specialist.
German auto specialist.
West Jordan, Utah.
I'd recommend him to anybody. That dude is.
Yeah,
he was born with a wrench.
He was made for that job.
Yeah.
He's a cool story. But yeah, so
let me ask you a question, because the podcast is kind of geared towards this, but starting a business. So when you started your business 14 years ago, what did you actually do to start it?
Yeah, so that's interesting. There's two things about that are important to know, because people see the success. Even friends or people that are close to my age are like, oh, I want to start this business, and they've got 4 kids and stuff. So you have to remember my situation was I had money saved up in the bank, and I was single, which anybody who is married knows, like single, you can live off of like 3 pennies a month. Mm-hmm. I mean, just go home and eat some top ramen. Like when you get married, it's 10 times more money you spend per month. And then when you have kids, it just like compounds.
Yeah, I can't keep track.
Yeah. So to start the business, I was working for a company that built websites, and they built really, really good websites, did really good design. And I had read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week. So that's one thing that I've always done. Like even in high school, I was reading Tony Robbins. Like people hate on Tony Robbins. I really like him. I think he has a good heart and is trying to help people.
Oh, he's great.
So many people hate him, but it's almost like a good move in a marketing world. So I was scared to do a business by myself. So there was one other person there that worked for that company. And we're talking, I only worked for that company. Like they only paid me once. And so,
is that short?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I told them, I was like, you guys need to start doing SEO. And they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, that's not going to be that big a thing. Like Google, people like Google will stop it from you being able to optimize your website and rank at the top. And I didn't see that. So anyways, they were like, well, we'll send you referrals. Yeah. And so I got a business partner, and we went in, and I worked with that business partner for, and starting is you start it, and then you're kind of hustling for clients, but you're charging way too little. Like I was charging nothing. I was like, this guy's paying us $500 a month. And then it was costing us $1,000 a month when you actually did the math on it. And we were not making money. I lost all my money that I had. I moved back in with mom and dad. I couldn't even go on dates because I didn't have money. Like,
you even moved your business in with mom and dad.
Yeah, we were working out like next to the bedroom.
I remember that.
We were working out of there. We'd found some good designers. We had some good people around it. Then we landed a couple clients that started to change like our paradigm of the size of clients that we could land. One was Complete Merchant Solutions.
Yeah.
Like that was a big client. The other one was Shumway Van. Mm-hmm. They were big. We didn't charge them a lot at the start, but we started making good money. But then we started doing like $10,000 to $15,000 a month, and we were able to take home a couple $1,000s. And when we were actually starting to be able to pull money and take money is when I met Kirsten, my wife, and I still had no money. I mean, we were dating. I was trying to push off marriage as long as I could because I was like, I can't even afford a ring right now. Yeah. But we kept getting more and more clients, and our clients were referral based. Like if I could go back, I would have done so many things different about that. I would have been way more aggressive about networking and just calling people, because when you're young, people will give you the forgiveness of like, hey, I knew you when I was 12 for 3 minutes, and this is what I'm trying to do, and this is how we can help your business. Like I could have so many more of those conversations than I don't even have. Like I don't even know when's the last time I had a conversation like that. Yeah. So anyway, and I was just using skill sets of conversation and talking to people and going over. And the other thing I was doing is I was trying to educate myself on marketing. So that's one thing that I've been really good at, and especially these last 8 years is like I want to be the best in the industry at knowing the knowledge. So when I talk to people, they can't stump me on something, because that happened a lot early on. Yeah. Like people would say something, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, and I'd BS through that and then be home like, what the hell was he talking about? Like trying to learn it. Yeah. Anyways, me and that business partner split off, and I kept going, started a new marketing company, and that was really scary. Like, so I'd only been married at that point when me and him split off. I'd only been married I got married in September, and that happened in February. Yeah. And so I was crazy nervous, and I got good advice of like, just put your head down and make it happen. And I started making 3 times what I'd ever made with that first company within 2 months. Like I was landing deal after deal after deal. I can control the whole thing. Like it was really good going into that business alone at that time, because I learned so many things about everything. But anyway, so understanding, like there's still so many things that I mess up on, but like starting a business, I always tell people, like a lot of people will be like, you just need to jump all the way in. And I'll tell people, I'm like, you need to make sure you love it, because when you start a business, it encompasses you. Like it's everything. You have to make sure how does your wife respond to you being gone all the time? Yeah. Like being in hours, or like doing things that seem like they're fun. Like, oh, I have to go do dinner, or these people are flying in and I'm meeting with them all day long and I'm not going to see you, and all this stuff, and the networking side of it. Like you have to have a wife that supports you through all that stuff. And then you have, like I tell people, I'm like, you have a really good job. Like keep that job until you know you're ready to actually make that switch. Yeah. Because starting a business when you don't have a family and you don't have any responsibility is very easy. Yeah.
Well, and I always tell people, it's like, you have to capitalize it.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people, like you said, you ran out of money. Yeah. You know, now I'm not saying you have to, you know, have 2 years worth of cash and, you know, massive outlays, but if you don't have enough money to like take care of your family and support your business, go earn it, and then you can start your business. Or, I mean, you know, you can use other people's money. You know, I kind of almost hate that term, because it's a very real thing. But people go, yeah, I'll just use other people's money. I'll just get an investor. And then they spin their wheels for a year and a half thinking they're working hard. Yeah. By people going, yeah, I'm not going to give you any money. You have no idea how to do this. This is you're a secretary, and now you want to start a ad agency. Like you're making a leap, you know. And most people won't say that to you. I will. If you come ask me for money, I'll tell you exactly why I'm not going to give it to you. But a lot of people just go, no, I'm not really in the position. They go, oh, all right, bro, if you ever are, you know, whatever. And it's like, you got to be realistic about what that really is. Yeah. You know. And so I see a lot of people that, you know, start a business and they file an LLC, and then they get a bank account, and they put $50 in it, and they're just like, okay, so we get clients now, and
get a credit card.
Yeah,
and the clients just, once you open up the LLC, the clients just, they're like, I was just checking to see if you were going to open an LLC. What are you selling? How can I do that? I don't even care what your systems are. Let's just do it.
I got an alert, man. I've worked with this guy for 10 years, but you're my guy. Yeah.
That's one thing that always gets me. I don't know why that just reminded me, but like we get financial planners knocking on our door all the time in our neighborhood, which is so weird. And I'm like, hey, I just saw you get out of that piece of crap Honda Civic. Like you need to park like clear in the hell away from where you're knocking doors. Cause like we can tell who has more money just by what's going on in this situation right now. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I like the hustle of that, but I'm not into, I don't know. What do you think about college now?
You love asking me this.
I'm getting into it. Because I didn't graduate from college. I had like 80 credits, and you did graduate from college.
I did graduate from college. I got into law school by the skin of my teeth. No. Didn't go. College.
And you helped assist kids to get through college for years.
Yeah. I've been on boards down there. I've been on multiple boards. I've chaired boards. I'm still active at UVU with their with donated money to them, so
it's not like you just graduated from college. Like you've actually helped kids get through college, build out plans. Yep. You've been a part of that.
I've given scholarships to kids. I've given in different countries. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the difference, I think the problem with college is people look at it as an education. And they just go, well, any education's good. And that comes from religious leaders, that comes from parents, that comes from peers,
government,
the media, the government. Oh yeah, the government loves lending money on that bull crap, you know. Yeah. The reality of the matter is college has to have an ROI attached to it, your college degree, return on investment. So you got to look at how much money that's going to cost you. And one thing to consider is how long is it going to take you to graduate? Because 4 years or 5 years of not working is huge, especially in your 20s. Because if you look at the time value of money, right? I think anybody that understands how to like forecast an ROI, if I said to you, I will give you $100,000, you need to go to college, you can go invest this money. 99.9% of the time, that's getting invested. They're not going to college. You do not need to go to college unless you want to be an engineer, a doctor, or some other trade that requires a governmental license to do it, right? So 5 to 10% of the people that graduate college, it was worth it. 90% of it, it was not worth it.
But
right?
One thing that I wanted to say going into that, because I know what your answer is going to be on that, but one thing I want to say is like that education as a parent, if you want to be a good parent, that education starts when your kids are young.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is way more valuable. You cannot start, you got to start your kids earning stuff at a young age. So by the time they're done, they've already had like an education. By the time they're 18, they've had an education on what money means, how do you make money, what do you do with money, all that stuff. So
yeah, so my kids, they're homeschooled, which is amazing because we have a very heavy curriculum on what their life is going to look like and in the future and building a business. So my kids will actually talk to you about building a business. My 6-year-old doesn't really know what that means, right? She's just having a good time. My 12-year-old, it's all about it. So is my 10-year-old, you know? We actually just talked at breakfast today because I'm making my daughter my social media manager, right? So I had to teach her how to do this. And I'm going to let her cut up podcasts because she loves making videos, as you know.
She's awesome.
So my daughter actually has a group text with me, my brothers, and my brothers. It's called the Brotherhood, and she just makes little videos and sends them to us all the time. And they have visual effects on them. They have music on them. She acts in them. She involves her friends and her family. They're awesome. You know? And so I looked at that. That's what she wants to do. She wants to make movies. So I'm going to teach her how to build a base, right? And then I make them invest their money. And so they have cash, and I've actually been giving them a lot of cash. And over the years, by the time they're 20, 25, that will grow into stocks. And I'm going to make them buy property when they're 18 and manage it and do the bull crap that comes along with managing it and do all that stuff. Because my horizon for them is about 25. By 25, I want them to be completely financially independent. If I call my son up and I'm like, let's go golfing on Friday, he better be able to say yes. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of my goal with my kids. And so when it comes to college, if they want to do college in there, I'm not going to discourage it, but they're going to have to actually give me a cash outlay of how does that degree increase how much money you can make? Yeah. You know, and honestly, most of the people I know that make like really good money, let's just say 250,000 and above, they never needed a college degree. Almost never.
And
one thing we joke about, right, is colleges doing SEO, right, and like high-tech degrees. It takes 4 years, well, maybe 2 to 4 years for them to even approve a curriculum. Yeah. And then you got to implement that curriculum, and then someone's got to go through the curriculum and then graduate. 6, 7 years in tech? Like, are you kidding me? That curriculum is obsolete 100%. Yeah. And there's actually a lot of stuff in college that's like that.
See, and the thing that I wish that college did, I know we need to wrap up here, but I wish they just went through like getting a business degree, like going through that is like, hey, here's accounting. Here's how that looks. Here's how to hire people. Here's how that looks. Like those basic things that you really need, which like I want to be able to teach my kids that, but anyway, we got to wrap up here.
Yeah, no, we got a couple minutes. But
I could do like 50 podcasts because Mark and I can talk forever about anything. Yeah, and like that's one of the reasons why I consider you like not obviously your brother, but you're my number one best friend, because I have a little group of close friends, but I feel like I can talk to you. I'm never judged, like there's so many little principles that you've taught me along the way of like, hey, step here, step here, step here, that like we both know we've done the stupidest things you can do. Yeah. And we both don't care about that. You both look at the growth, and you build like a friendship with people when you can see past that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, absolutely, man. Well, cool. So let's wrap up, because my thing in my podcast, because you got to have a thing, right, is I need your best advice. You got 2 minutes. Best advice?
My best advice is to communicate with adults everywhere you are, and only focus on them. And if you are an adult, focus on that. It's one of the hardest things for me, because I'm not that way. Like, I don't want to be at parties. I don't want to be in groups. And that's something that in the last few years has progressed me more than anything, is just to have conversations. So like, even with Brea and your kids, like I'm trying to have more conversations with them, but as kids and as youth, like cause I have a lot of youth that are asking me for advice. It's like, whenever you're around, talk to adults. If you go pick a girl up for a date, talk to their parents. Like, you blow their minds. Yeah. Like, they'll love you forever, because that's so abnormal right now. And do that and not expect anything out of it. That's probably the best advice I'd give.
No, awesome. Awesome advice, my friend. Well, thank you very much for being on the podcast. I'm sure we'll do many more of these.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on my podcast too.
Yeah.
Best Friends Podcast.
Best Friends Podcast.
We have to rebrand.
Thanks for listening to the President McCormack Podcast, brought to you by McCormack Foundation, Saxton Fund, ADP Lemco, and Professional Floor Systems. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and keep up with Mark on Instagram @President McCormack.